Quickly, this is a paid segment from skinswap.com. Log into SkinSwap today to be able to easily trade, buy, and most importantly for us, sell skins. SkinSwap even supports PayPal, so it's quite accessible for everyone. Don't forget to use my affiliate code OMIGHTY to help me out, and also claim your free item at the top right of the website screen too. What's going on, guys? I'm back again with the weekly Rust Skins videos, and today it is the first week of the Halloween skins. So this is what the top sellers is looking like for this week, and we will have a cheeky look at the clothing and armor. We have a continuation of the Kraken stuff. That was my elbow, just absolutely copying an L there. The Kraken Shell hoodie and the Kraken Shell pants, both going for $1.55 each. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, we must have had the Kraken. I'm pretty sure it was Metal Gear last year. Personally, I didn't actually like it. This one I don't love. It does remind me, the hoodie reminds me a little bit of like the Sputnik hoodie, which is cool. But I think the back of the hoodie actually looks sick, how it's like a octopus's actual head. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So $1.55. Look, I don't think that the pants are going to perform well. Let's just cut to the chase with that one. Don't think it's going to perform well. This set itself is actually quite interesting when it's paired together, though it does flow quite well. But without actual armor, the skin will be lacking, and that is just because the extra detail of like the octopus tentacles, or the Kraken's tentacles, I should say, and the Kraken's teeth. The teeth will probably be on display still under like a metal chest plate, but the actual rest of the detail of like the tentacles and stuff will be covered up by a metal chest plate. And of course, there aren't any other like Kraken themed metal chest plates. In fact, I might be being a silly Billy because the Metal Gear came out last year. So ignore what I just said then. Look, overall, either way, I don't think the skin's going to perform well, but I do think that it will be good for last year's Kraken gear. So I don't actually think there's going to be any demand for the Kraken shell hoodie and pants once it leaves the Rust store and goes to the community market. Simply put, it's just because it's a very niche thing. I know Captain Looks absolutely froths pirate stuff and this kind of themed stuff, but I don't really think many other people do, and I don't think that this is really something that is going to have high demand once it leaves the Rustam store and goes to the community market. And even though they are $1.55, which is a good price, I still don't think that they're going to make you money because I don't think they're really going to have demand. So once they leave the Rustam store, I predict that they're going to be around $1.55 or less, honestly. I just don't think they're going to have very high demand. If you did want to try and invest in either of them, which I wouldn't recommend, as I said, but if you were, then I'd get the shell hoodie over the shell pants, personally. All right, moving over to the Metal Gear, we have the Necro chest plate and the Necro face mask. Now, I just want to make this very clear, just in case you guys didn't know, the metal chest plate is $1.55, and for some reason, the metal face mask is $3.05. The ironic thing about this is I actually think the chest plate is decent, and I think the face mask looks like absolute garb. Really can't get amongst the face mask. I do absolutely froth the brain part on the top of the metal face mask. I do love it when skin creators do that. I always think that looks sick, but I just really don't like the cutout on face masks. I just think it looks dorky, and honestly, I don't think that the Necro face mask looks very good, in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of like a Plants vs. Zombies type like zombie, more so than like a Last of Us or The Walking Dead type zombie, something like that. That's more realistic and sinister. This is more like cartoony and odd. Anyhow, I don't think the Necro face mask will perform well at all once it leaves the Rustam store and goes to the community market. In fact, if you wanted to get it as a play skin, I'd recommend getting it off of the community market instead of the Rustam store because I do think it'll be cheaper. As for the Necro chest plate, honestly, I don't think it's going to be that bad of an investment simply because it's $1.55, but I don't think it's going to pair very well with other skins that we have in the game currently. In saying that, though, you could use it as a cheap alternative, as like a camouflage metal chest plate, like the Forest Raiders chest plate. So overall, I do think the Necro chest plate would be a better investment over the Necro face mask. If you were to invest in either, I'd recommend getting the chest plate over the face mask. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend getting the face mask off of the Rust Item store. Whereas the Necro chest, so look, Necro face mask, I'm not going to recommend investing in. Necro chest plate, I will recommend investing in. All right, let's just end it there. All right, moving over to the Zombie Bang LR, going for $3.05. This is basically just a booger, and it has some bloody blood in it or something, and it says Bang on it with a bit of stitching. Honestly, can't really get amongst this LR. I'm sure some people are going to froth it, but I think it is absolutely fugly. I like its style. I just think the color of it is gross. I'm sure that is what the intended outcome for this Zombie Bang LR was by the skin creator, so good work to them. But yeah, I just think it's such an ugly skin. Like, just the colors are just gross. It just looks like vomit. But I'm sure that was the intended purpose. Going for $3.05, I think it's actually a cool skin. I just ripped on it like heaps hard, but I actually do think it's a cool skin. I just don't think it's going to perform very well, simply because I guess the Rust community doesn't really like this kind of skin that much. They do like the more flashy skins or the clean skins, and this is pretty much the opposite of both. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in the Zombie Bang LR. Not only that, it's also an LR skin, and of course, LRs are a harder weapon to get in the game, and even then, they're not that good, unfortunately. So hopefully they get a buff in the future, and then that will help with the skin prices. Also, there's no ADS on the Rust Item store, no ADS picture. Can't get amongst that. Skin creators need to add an ADS picture, in my opinion, to every weapon skin they make. So whoever has made this Zombie Bang LR, if you're watching this, then add ADS pictures in your future weapon uploads. Overall, I'm going to recommend investing in it. All right, moving over to the Zombie SAR. Going for $4.60. And even though I was complaining about the metal face mask being cartoony, I actually really like this Zombie SAR zombie picture. I think it's actually sick. The only downside, in my opinion, and even though I think this looks sick, is it does glow in the dark. I just think you're basically just buying a pay-to-lose skin here, so you're going to be roaming the semi. Your tier 2, that's pretty much what that means. And you probably don't really want to be losing kits. It's $4.60 as well, but anyway, we'll just continue with this story for a second. You don't really want to be losing kits, and you're roaming around in the night, and you get killed because of your bright pink glowing brain and your 2 white glowing eyes. So pretty easily spotted, in my opinion. Of course, some people play with their bloody monitor turned off when it's nighttime because they're absolutely garbage. I don't know what the goes with that, but that's definitely not ideal. So pay-to-lose skin, in my opinion. Overall, the skin looks awesome. I like the broken bones going horizontally along the actual body and the magazine, and in fact, and the barrel of the gun. All looks awesome. Got a little bit of muscle at the very end of the barrel of the gun. We've got a bone break happening with the barrel. This is actually a really well-made skin. Whoever the creator of this was, good work. This is actually a sick skin. The problem, though, on the Rust Item store is that it's starting off at $4.60. So we already have 2 things going against the Zombie SAR. 1, it glows in the dark, so it's a pay-to-lose skin. And 2, it is $4.60. So already starting at a higher price point with a disadvantage, like glowing in the dark and it being pay-to-lose. Glowing in the dark is usually a pay-to-win thing, but it's only pay to win on deployables and things you don't have to actually roam with. So when you're roaming around in the night, of course, you're going to be an easy target if you do have a glowing item and then someone else is hiding in a bush like the little pussy they are. So Zombie SAR, unfortunately, I'm not going to recommend investing in it off the Rust Item store, although I will say if you pick it up on the Rust Item store as a play skin, I actually don't think you will lose money off of this skin as a long-term thing. So if you do eventually get sick of the skin as a long-term thing, keyword, I do think that you could just sell it and keep this money still. But yeah, look, overall, I do honestly think you could probably get the Zombie SAR for cheaper off of the community market buy order. But it is a shame because it would be best if you supported the Rust skin creator that has made this skin on the Rust store, because I can see that whoever's made this skin has actually put a lot of effort into it. Awesome skin, but I'm not going to recommend investing in it. Right, moving over to the Zombo, going for $3.05, and from the first picture, I am impressed. Second picture looks awesome as well, and the third picture looks awesome. This is a sick looking bow skin. So I don't know, I definitely can't get amongst bow skins usually, but this one is very unique. We've got the cutout, and the cutout has teeth in it, and of course it is meant to be a mouth. This is like a zombified bow, and definitely wasn't expecting to see something like this year. Going for $3.05, this skin is actually skits. Look, I'm going to recommend investing in it. I don't think bow skins are very good investments at all, but I do think that this is unique enough to do something. I would recommend getting the Zombo off of the community market with a buy order though, simply because I do think you could get it for a bit cheaper, but as a long-term investment, I do think you can make money off of the Zombo. Actually a really unique, awesome looking skin, and props to the skin creator for making this one. I do think that this is a very high IQ, very creative bow skin. Pretty awesome skin. Yeah, good work. Also, another weird thing is that we don't have any face punch items, so I guess they're going to be coming in next week, but I thought they would have been releasing them this week. Bit weird, but is what it is. Alrighty, moving over to the next skin, we have the Fridge from Hell. This is actually quite a awesome looking fridge skin. We actually do have quite a nice selection of fridge skins, and the weird thing about fridges, even though we've only got maybe 10 or something like that, they're actually all still above this $3.85 mark on the Rust store that this Fridge from Hell is going for currently. Not only that, but the From Hell set is also a very, very popular and successful set. I do think that this Fridge from Hell as a long-term investment will perform well. I do think it is better than a decent amount of the other fridges on the community market. But not only that, it is the only type of this skin for the fridge on the community market where it's demonic, and people do like to have that demonic stuff. This is one of the things in Rust that the Rust community does really like. So the Fridge from Hell, overall, I actually do think you can make money off of it. I also do think you could probably get it for a bit cheaper off the community market with a buy order, but picking this up off of the Rust store, I do think would be still a safe investment, in my opinion, as a long-term investment. In fact, probably like a medium-term investment at this point. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Fridge from Hell. Pretty cool looking skin. Very well made, in my opinion. We do have some high quality skins this week. The problem, in my opinion, is that it is going for $3.85. So it is a shame that it is so expensive, because it is just a fridge skin. The demand for fridges isn't that high, and that is because fridges just aren't really used that much. It would be cool if Face Punch committed and actually made it so food did go bad, so that you do have to start using fridges and putting the food in fridges, but that has been, I guess, like in concept limbo, as Shadowfrex would love to say it, for a long time now, and I don't think that that's coming out of it anytime soon, unfortunately. So Fridge from Hell, I do think will be a good investment, and then if the fridges ever were required in the meta, then it's going to be even better. Overall, I will recommend investing the Fridge from Hell off of the Rust store for this week. Alrighty, moving over to the Grim Farm Garage Door, going for $4.60. This is a glowing deployable, so it does indeed glow in the dark. Honestly, I personally am not too keen on this one, but I do think a lot of people will like it. I also think it has a really nice looking glow. It actually looks sick in the dark, but I just really can't get amongst how it looks at day. Unfortunately, I just don't think it looks that cool. It just looks really weird. I don't know. I think it's also quite unique because it seems like the skin creators only use like these 2D shapes, and then mainly done like more color to make all of the skin pop. And I do think that's quite unique, because I do think there's a lot of 3D involved, 3D modeling involved these days in Rust skins. Whereas it doesn't look like this one has had the 3D modeling that much, more so just the color. And I think that's actually quite impressive that that has been made like that, because you don't see it that often, and it does have a good result, in my opinion. Not so keen on how it looks at day, but really nice at night. $4.60 is what it's going for, so quite expensive, above center store price for even glowing deployables. But typically, Halloween skins do perform, Halloween glowing deployables in general, do perform quite well after they've left the Rustam store. But look, for $4.60, I do think you could probably pick this up for cheaper on the community market with a buy order. It'll be interesting to see if people are raving about it, and currently it is number one on the top sellers, so I'd say that people clearly do like it. But for $4.60, I do think that you can get it for cheaper off of the community market with the buy order. So if you are to invest in the Grim Farm Garage door, then I'd recommend picking it up with the buy order off of the community market to maximize your potential profits. All right, moving over to another deployable, we have the Spider Cocoon Furnace going for $3.05, and this one does remind me a little bit of the Ghostly Flame Furnace, which was a furnace skin from, I think, 3 years ago, Halloween furnace skin, and that is also on the same color scheme as this one. So it's like a bronzy kind of color overall, and then has the green glow the same as this, but this one is of course a whitey kind of color and has the green glow. So overall, of course, it is supposed to be a spider cocoon, and then it has some glowing egg sacs. I do think that this is a pretty cool looking skin. I'm not so keen on the whole spider theme thing, but I do know that there is probably a few people in Rust that do like this kind of stuff. And I do think that for the role players especially, this goes very well with like the Cursed Cauldron, and will go very well with one of the next skins we're going to talk about. So overall, I think that the Spider Cocoon Furnace unfortunately still won't really be that great of an investment initially, but if you pick this up as a long-term investment, I do think you can make money. I would recommend instead getting the Spider Cocoon Furnace off of the community market rather than the Rustam store though, because I do think you can get it for a bit cheaper than the $3.05, and then you can sell it from there. All right, moving over to the skin that I was going to be talking about next, which is the Spider Web Rug. I do think that that would pair quite well with the Spider Cocoon Furnace, so keep that in mind as well. But the thing is, we don't have that many rug skins, but we do have a decent amount of rug skins. This is quite unique because, of course, we don't have any other spiderweb rug skins, and it is also a very unique cutout where it only shows a little bit of the rug overall. I'd say like 80-something% of the rug is probably cut out. But the skin is going for $3.85, so it is above center store price. It doesn't appear to glow. Which you guys will see if it does or doesn't glow, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't glow. And there's other... Look, this is a very niche rug skin. There's other rug skins that people can buy and they can just use whenever. And then this is a rug skin that you can buy if you want spider webs in your base. So $3.85. I do think you could get the spider web rug off the community market with the buy order for cheaper. And so overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in it. Overall, very unique skin. I do like the fact that the rug's barely even there. Like, there's only a few little strings of it, and I do think it's quite cool, but I'm not going to recommend investing in it off the Rustam store. Alrighty, moving over to the Spooky Neon Small Box, going for $3.05. And overall, I'm very glad that whoever has made this skin has put the bat, or at least artwork in general, on the end of the small box so that there is art on all faces, and then of course the end is sometimes and quite often the play side that you will see most. Another thing I found quite funny is that the bat kind of just looks like a Batman bat, so I think like this is going to be cool for people that like Batman, but then also people that like Halloween themed stuff. So I do think that this kind of has like two different things, and it's going to pull in two different audiences. But I mean, overall, in general, it is a nice looking skin anyway. I would say I do think that the skin creator, just a little bit of a critique on the Rustum store, I do think that the skin creator probably could have posted more than 2 daytime pictures of it, and maybe even a daytime picture of it without the smoke, just being in like the daylight, just so we could see what it actually properly looks like in day. But overall, the Spooky Neon small box does look pretty cool. But we just got a charity Rust skin off of the Twitch drops for free that was a glowing deployable as well. So kind of a bad time for Neon small boxes, to come out onto the Rust store, especially as investments, because we just had a free glowing small box come out as well. And I haven't seen that one in game, so I don't know if the end of it is glowing, but yeah, look, either way, it was free, and it does have some glow. So that doesn't really help the Spooky Neon small box to start off with. But for investors, I do think that that does make it a bit easier to get it for a cheaper price initially. And so if you do want to invest in this Spooky Neon small box, I'd recommend getting it off the community market with a buy order. I do think it'll be a little bit cheaper because the demand will be a little bit lower, simply because we've just had a bunch of small boxes, one small box specifically, going around in circulation through the community, that being the Charity Water 2023 small box. So it's going to be a good time to pick up the Neon small box off of the community market with a buy order, because the demand isn't going to be as high. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in it off of the Rustum store. Instead, try and get it off of the community market. I think that's actually the final skin of the week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And remember, have a skits one.